Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 live feed spoilers. Today is day 48 in the game as we move towards another eviction and actually a double eviction a little bit later this week.
Crazy. I mean, we've got Jared. He's our HOH right
Yeah.
now. And Corey and America, they were the initial nominees, and the original plan was to backdoor Cameron, but he was picked for the veto alongside Bowie Jane Jag, but he didn't win. Jag won. So, I mean, we're here now.
It was a really intense weekend for a little while just because we all kind
Hmm.
of sat around and was like, is Cameron gonna win again? Or is he even gonna get picked again? And then
Yeah.
when he was picked, like that drama started to escalate.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do here in this video, we will take you through everything that happened leading up to the veto ceremony, which was
Yep.
earlier today.
Yep.
And also, we're gonna get into the aftermath of the veto ceremony because there's already a lot of chatter as to where the game
Hmm.
could be going from here. Who could be working with who is in danger. Before we go further, though, we have a live stream tonight on Patreon talking all about Big Brother. If
Yep.
you guys want to be a part of that, join it. Our Patreon link is in that description below. It is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with those live streams and we have them every single week. So we hope to see you there.
Okay, so before we get too much into the veto ceremony itself, this is something that we have to talk a little bit about on Saturday, which was Cirie mentioning to Jared that, he could put her up potentially as a replacement nominee in the event that Cameron played for the veto, won, and then took down America, thinking, it could shield them. And I just think that it would have been a situation where her game would have been over if she's up there on the block. And I kind of wonder if she even knew that. Like, does she think Jared has a better chance without her? Is she just over this experience? It was a really weird comment for somebody who is, a legend of these sort of games.
Yeah. And who her son is the HOH. There's no reason for her to be on the block. They're almost halfway through the game. Who cares if people know that they're working together at this point? She is in such a, decent spot. I know she's lost Izzy, but she's still in a pretty decent spot. This week, she should be safe. Worry about next week, next week. If she thinks like next week she could be able to win or help in another way to help get her son further, I mean, they're only at the halfway mark. Why would she pull the shoot this early? It just feels like maybe she's just done with the game. I mean, it was such a weird thing to say, like, "Oh, I'm your closest ally. Put me on the block right now." Because what? You're not going to go home? Of course you're going to go home. 100% you're going to go home.
I love Cirie on Survivor. I've said that so many times, but I was just personally disappointed that she said that, even if she was just having a bad day, because everybody has bad days. And
Yeah,
you said it, Izzy had just left not that long before. She's
right.
kind of missed her person that she's talking to. Maybe she doesn't want to watch the Jared Blue showmans anymore.
Well, I think that that's what makes things very difficult because Jared is very close to Blue. And I mean, Jared did, of course, say he doesn't want to put his mom up. And he did tell Blue later about Cirie volunteering. So, I mean, that might be part of it for Cirie is that, her and Felicia, not as close as they used to be. Izzy is gone. Jared is with Blue. And so he's spending more of his time over there. That she might just feel like, well, I guess I'm kind of just like waiting to leave.
It was just a bummer. And anybody who's playing Big Brother, like, I don't want to try to get into the cliches of like, oh, you took a spot away from somebody else, because it's such a generic line, and I don't want to use that. But it was just a bummer, and maybe moving forward she'll get her head back into things. But before the veto ceremony happened, like, let's go from the Cameron point of view, because it's been obvious for a while what's going to happen, and I think he knew it, and he tried to campaign using the age-old arguments that he could be loyal to whoever saves him, that, he is a very, very big target. But I think he kind of left out there that anybody who saved him would also be a really, really big target, because let's be honest, Cameron, and I'm not trying to be mean, nobody in the house likes you. They want you to leave this week. You are such on the outside of anything. And I know we've said, oh, these things are locked up, and then the house goes crazy and everything flips and anything is possible.
That happened to us last
It
week.
did. And you know what? It could happen again. It's just like it seems so obvious that his campaigning didn't obviously go anywhere. I mean, to the point where when Cameron got second in the veto, like the House celebrated. It's like, hooray, you did not win. And we already talked about how nobody celebrated when he actually won HOH.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how clueless Cameron is on some of that. It's strange.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like, it's not something I don't know if I'll ever fully understand, but hey, you know what? At least I guess you tried, Cameron.
Yeah.
I can give you that, even if you are disliked by the entire house and also myself.
Yeah, I've always said if you're, you gotta try. You
Yeah.
gotta try to win. You gotta try to campaign. You gotta do whatever. And now Cameron is in that situation because the veto was used on Corey and Jared put up Cameron. So, it's all been decided. I mean, Cameron's going.
Yeah, we're really at this point, and it might change in a day or two because I'm sure Cameron is going to try to think of some sort of crazy idea. You know, he's up versus America. What is he going to do? What is he going to say? I'm sure he'll try something, but
Yeah.
a lot of the players right now are already starting to look towards next week. Like Jared and Cirie moving forward could be in big trouble because Felicia spent a lot of the weekend and then also last night just collecting information from multiple people about Cirie and Jared wanting her out when she was up against Izzy. And I'm sure this will be a surprise to a lot of people that Miss Felicia is not taking this news altogether well.
No, she's completely woken up now. She is, completely aware of really a lot that's been going on, when she was on the block and what was going on and what was being said. And, even before the veto ceremony, she was telling America Bowie Jane and others that she wanted to target Cirie. She feels really betrayed and she's taking it personally. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, you can't take things personally. It's a game.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's also you are living in a house with people. Like, yes, it's a game, but there's still
Yeah.
also a human aspect to it where she felt that they were really close. They bonded right away. They were friends right away. And, I totally understand why she feels betrayed.
I think Felicia just needs to take a few deep breaths, relax a little bit. She can be upset, and I would be upset too, obviously, if I'm in this position. I think that she just needs to realize a little bit, and maybe she will. Cirie's not that concerned about her now. I know that she wanted to get rid of Felicia when it was her
Mm-hmm.
versus Izzy, and she
Yep.
has thrown Felicia under the bus, but at this point, there are bigger fish to fry. I mean, she and Jared they are much more worried now about Corey, America, and Jag following what happens to Cameron. Like Felicia's not top priority, and she may try to like go over and work with some of these other people or nominate Cirie, and maybe there's a pathway to final two, final three over there. Anything is possible, but just like on paper, she's not that close to any of those people.
Okay, so on Sunday night, Nicole and Jag had a talk, a really long talk,
Yeah.
where they really seem interested in working together. But Nicole's keeping her cards close to her chest because, her number two is Felicia. And she understands that Cirie and Jared aren't going after her anytime soon.
This is once again why I have a lot of faith in Mikal as a player. And I know there probably are people out there that are just sort of like, okay, well, what is she doing? Is she doing enough? And sometimes being self aware is as good of a skill set as anything else in Big Brother.
It
Like,
is.
you don't have to make big moves all the time. You can sort of sit back and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't trust Cirie and Jared fully. Maybe I know that they did X, Y, and Z, that they wanted to get rid of Felicia, but I know where I stand right now. I can keep my options open. I can just make sure that me Cole, does not end up being a target for anyone moving forward. And
Mhm.
that's why talks with people like Jag are so important.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so this is where things start to get a little bit funny because there's already a lot of paranoia, and there's already a lot of, okay, I know there needs to be a target. I know there needs to be somebody to take somebody out, but does it have to be me who does the taking out? Because Corey in America and Matt and Jag, like these two duos, they each seem to be reluctant in some ways to try hard to win head of household. I think they think that the other duo can win it and just go ahead and do the dirty work, and their hands will be kind of clean at the end of it.
Yeah, this is the Big Brother house. Like you have to build a resume. You can't just not win anything and not really at some point you have to like draw the line in the sand. It just is how it is with this house. You can't just do nothing.
There's a couple of schools of thought I have on some of this because there's a lot of suspicion, obviously, of a double eviction coming up because these people never
Yes,
stop speculating about this sort of stuff.
of course.
And in theory, if that double is announced, maybe they'll all try to fight really hard for this HOH. But I just have this feeling in my gut, and I don't know if it's a tinfoil hat thing. Don't come at me in the comments if this happens. I feel like there's a part of me that thinks that Cirie is going to win the next HOH. And I could see it subconsciously. These other people don't try as hard as they should to win it. And then Cirie ends up winning HOH. And then one of them ends up being taken out because they're all being too passive. I think because they're afraid of being seen as, I don't know, the public enemy of whoever ends up surviving between her and Jared if one of them ends up being in danger at all.
Well, maybe that will be what Cirie needs to kind of give her that feeling of second life in the game. If that's how she was feeling when she was like, just put me up, whatever, that kind of feeling. That maybe winning HOH will give her sort of that second life.
Yeah, so Cirie is a great player. As frustrated as we can be by a lot of what she said over the weekend, or even some of the moves she's made this season, I think that having Jared in there with her has been a really big detriment. Jared was a beneficial secret at first, but he's not anywhere near as good as she is. And we've talked about the massive fight that took place. There's a lot that she's had to clean up because of Jared.
Okay, so between Corey and America, Matt and Jag, there was like, and also Blue, but I mean, really these four, they were sort of having a lot of debate on like who to nominate, which is kind of interesting considering they were all basically like, none of us really want to win,
Yeah,
but who would we nominate sort of thing. And, it's not a surprise, I think, to settle on Jared and Cirie to just ensure one of them goes.
I'm glad that they have sort of settled on this because I was really worried that they were going to go with the idea of, oh, maybe we'll put up Cirie and Felicia and then we'll try to backdoor Jared because then it's like Jared gets chosen for veto. Jared's going to then take Cirie off the.
Off.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you guys are just going to get rid of Felicia, who has been talking all day about wanting to get Cirie out of the game.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. This isn't the time for that.
No, you need to just make the move. You need to have the courage to go ahead and do that. I think what's going to be interesting over the next couple of days, and here I go about to get myself in trouble again, is that
Uh-oh, do I need my hard hat?
probably go
All
ahead.
right, here we go.
Cameron's going. Cameron's being evicted this week. There's pending a last second miracle or him suddenly becoming another player who actually isn't condescending to other people. Like, there's no way he's going to be able to talk himself out of this.
And he
So,
needs to go.
yeah,
I mean, he's been winning a lot of stuff. He's taking big moves. I mean, he needs to go.
yeah, I don't see a way things are going to get crazy. But because of that, these next couple of days are going to be a lot of, I think, people talking themselves to death with various other ideas, scenarios. Maybe Cirie is going to try to use this to get in good with some other people again to try, because she is such a smooth talker.
Mhm.
She's really, really exceptional at sort of kind of smoothing over situations, making people feel good. There's still a lot of potential for drama as we move forward.
There absolutely is. And we're going to be talking even more about that in our live stream
Yes.
tonight over on our Patreon. So make sure you check that out and join us for that live stream. We have them every week over on our Patreon talking all about Big Brother. They're
Yeah.
so fun. And thank you so much to all our Patreons over there who have helped us and helped support our channel. It means a lot to us. And we have a lot of fun talking to everybody
Yeah.
there.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.